Hey YouTube, it's Asa'r. Alright. Um I had a few things go through my mind this morning, so I'm just gonna go ahead and make a short little video on it. Before I get into this, I'd like to thank my current subscribers, and if you're new to my channel, do subscribe. So let's get into this. Alright. I was looking, at some videos when 432 dropped, and looking at the Perry Reese map of Cathay or the original China and the original Japan. And I started to think about these so-called ancient shrines that resides within the China over there, the new China. And it dawned on me, all of the ancient structures, okay, all have the same aesthetic to them, the same ancient appeal, because they're ancient. And you look at these shrines, and the thumbnail I have for this video is a so-called ancient Chinese shrine. Well, if you look at the picture, and you can go on Google and look at it, it doesn't look ancient. It looks fairly new. Because if you look at the base of it, that's concrete. That's concrete and brick. All ancient structures are made of an ancient stone. So, why is it that these so-called ancient shrines are not made of stone? They're made of concrete and brick. Because that's at its base. And then you look at the color, the painting of it. The paint even looks fairly new. It's not faded at all. Which is weird in itself, because again, all ancient structures have a certain look to them. No matter where you go, it has a certain appeal. But it doesn't look new. You look at something, you know something is ancient versus something that is not ancient, something that's fairly new by, say, a couple hundred years. Those shrines in so-called China, which is in Eurasia, it is Eurasia, that in so-called Europe, that is Eurasia. So in that part of Eurasia, of the Eurasian Peninsula, that they call China, those shrines are not ancient. The whole building of all of these so-called shrines that they call ancient ones, they're not ancient. They're new. I just so happened to look at that base and looked, I'm like, that's concrete. Everything that's made, that's built today, has a concrete base. And that shrine that I'm using as a thumbnail, you look at it, that's concrete. That's not stone. Because you can even see the brick. Because brick has a little gap in it where you put cement in between it to seal it together. So that's new. They've been using concrete since what? The 19th century? Maybe 18th century? Late? Concrete's been around for a little bit, but again, concrete is new. That's a just over a couple hundred years old as far as concrete. They've been portraying buildings that are a couple hundred years old and passing it off as if they're ancient. But if you look at ancient structures, you can see a complete difference between the two. They're trying to make something new old and make something old new. They're flipping everything. And then I also started to think about Woe, or Japan, which, of course, it was called, Woe in the what was it? The the 1480. Tried the Chinese map before mud flood map of 1480. And of course, Japan's called whoa. But of course it's over here. But I started to think about the new place that they call Japan today. Where exactly does so-called Japan actually sit? Because if you realize, again, looking at the mud flood map of 1480, it even has Australia next to America, where Australia actually sits. Well, I started to think, well, if Australia's over here, or near here, we already know the Philippines are a part of the Americas. So, I started to think, how is the weather in the Philippines? How is the weather in Indonesia and Malaysia? How close is Malaysia, Indonesia, and the Philippines? Because they have a lot of connection there. It's almost as if they're really close to one another. Because you find the Philippines, you got Malaysia, you got Indonesia. It's like, okay, well, the Philippines is here. We already know this. Where exactly does Indonesia sit? Where does Malaysia actually sit? And it brought me to Japan. If you look at Japan's weather, they have 4 seasons. What places have 4 seasons? That's the Americas. We have 4 seasons over here. We have spring, summer, fall, and winter. Japan has spring. They have a summer. They have a fall. And they have a winter. So I started to think, geographically, they have the same weather patterns as us. Or as far as geological weather patterns as us. So Japan is a part of the Americas. Because they hijacked the Philippines. And they'd say that the Philippines is in Asia. We know the Philippines are not in Asia. That means Japan is not in Asia. Japan is also a part of the Americas. So they lied where Japan is at. They're passing off their fake shrines as ancient shrines in fake China. Everything has literally been flipped. They did completely take the old world's history, this being the old world, and they completely transplanted it on their new world map. Entirely. When I was listening to 432 drop information yesterday on the video I was watching yesterday, and one of the videos showed a lot of the names of cities that, if you look at the map today, is over there in so-called Europe or England, but originally were here, which is interesting. So now they took names of cities and put it over there. They put names of so-called countries over there. They've put everything and put a mirror to it. So everything that you see is reversed. Because you look in a mirror, you're seeing the reverse of everything. What's left is right. What's right is left. That's mirror image right there. It's flipped. It's literally backwards. So their reflections of the old world over there is a lie. China, with their so-called Great Wall of China, we know they exaggerated that too. So I just wanted to come forth with that, because that's been it was on my mind to go ahead and just go. I wasn't gonna make a video, but I was like, I'm gonna go ahead and make a video. So like I said, I was gonna make this really short, but I wanted y'all to think about that. And again, do look on Google at these so-called Chinese shrines, so-called Japanese shrines. Look at them. Look at their architecture. Architecture. Look at it. And you're going to see that it looks new almost. Like it's very new. It's not ancient at all. Because when you're using concrete and brick, that's not new. Ancient always use stone because stone can last forever. You don't have to keep up stone. It'll keep itself preserved. You don't have to keep maintenance on that or upkeep on that. Not with stone, you don't. But with concrete and brick and paint, you have decay. So they got to make sure that stays maintenance regularly. But I just wanted to come forth with that. Tries Most High, I need you.